two. 1, 2, 3.
Are you ready, America? It's time for another edition of Game On. With your host, Stevie Ray Braun, and Brad Bad News Bollinger. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Game On. Talking about your favorite sports and different parts of life. Might even get a little take on Lane Kiffin's wife. They tell you what they think, you're not afraid to take a stance. They'll give you the number of pleats in Charlie Weiss's pants. They're the game on guys, see sports through their eyes. Political correctness just up and dies when they give you their views on any sport you want to hear. They're the game on guys, eating fries, drinking beer.
That's right, it is Game On. I'm Steve Braun. That is Brad Bollinger. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Can't complain by any means. So I want to start off. You seem to enjoy Steve the Dad stories, so I'm going to play something for you. My daughter, Caroline, as you know, has come across. So we're in the potty training stage, which I don't know how much you could say training. It's more just pray and hope that it happens. Anyways, we got pull-ups. She's been in pull-ups for a while now, but we noticed that I think the last box that we bought, they have this deal where you can call Disney characters. And as I pull this up for you, it sounds, I'll play it for you and then I'll get your thoughts.
Okay.
You have a call from Buzz Lightyear. Is a big kid there?
Greetings, fellow Space Ranger. This is Buzz Lightyear calling in. I hear that you're setting off on a new mission. Well, congratulations, Cadet. If you stick to the plan and trust in your training, I'm sure you'll reach that goal in no time. Well, Star Command is requesting me, but I'm just an intergalactic call away if you ever need to talk again. Until then, Buzz Lightyear, over and out.
Thanks for taking the call, big kid. Don't be a stranger. Call back anytime.
So yeah,
Okay.
it's stuff like that. It's like, hey, I heard you're going on an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
If you stick to the plan, it's basically if you need a motivational speech, right? I
Yeah.
can send this to you.
I was gonna say, why don't they have that for adults?
I mean, maybe it is intended for adults. Mom and
Is
Dad.
it free?
Yeah, it's free.
Okay, we need a free hotline for adults.
You just go to pullups.com
Okay.
and
I guess I could do that.
yeah, potty training resources.
Did they specify that it was just for kids? I mean,
it was on the pull-ups, so
well, I know.
and it does say big kid.
Well, I mean, how many adults have been referred to as big kids, you know?
Here you go. Here's another for you.
Yeah, give me another.
You have a call from Mickey Mouse. Is a big kid there?
Yes.
Well, hiya, pal. It's me, Mickey Mouse.
Hey,
I
Mickey.
just heard the great news that you're getting started on a cool new adventure.
I am.
You're right.
Hot
Yeah.
dog. Congratulations, pal. Just make
Thank
sure
you.
you stick to the plan, okay?
What does that
and
mean?
Don't forget, I'll
That's
be here in
ominous.
case you ever want to call again. Well,
No.
so long for now, and I'll see ya real soon.
Do you have
Now,
a
hold
friend?
on.
Thanks for taking
Hold
the call,
on.
big kid.
Do you have a friend that has a drinking problem?
Why
There's
did that
Mickey
sound...
Mouse encouraging them to stick
Why
to the
did-
plan.
Why did that sound so ominous? Did you notice that? Like, Mickey just in the middle was like, hey, make sure you stick to the plan, though.
Yeah,
I feel like we're, like,
they're all like that. They all say
planning a heist or something.
you just
like,
stick to the plan.
it felt mildly threatening, to be honest with you.
Don't screw this up.
It was kind of scary, a little bit scary, but
If you
I
pee
mean,
your
sweet,
pants
I
once
guess.
again,
Yeah, I might have to
I have
send
a
that to our.
special set of skills.
Ah,
Oh God!
sorry, Mickey's over here.
It's
oh my
coming
god.
after you.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
It was ominous. It was Mickey.
Oh no.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Are you okay?
Never challenge the mouse.
Is the mouse after you?
The mouse is okay. I'm better now. Jesus.
Brad,
I was already
Use
on
your
edge
code
with the
word.
Mickey thing.
use your code word that Dirk isn't the greatest basketball player of all time. I'll know you're in trouble.
I'm glad you remembered my code word.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. First of all, I think that's pretty fun and neat and everything, and I do think adults could use that. I could have used it many
You've
times
got
in my
people
life.
in mind that you're going to send it
Yeah.
to, aren't you?
But I'm gonna get to the bottom of this Mickey thing because I don't know why he's like vaguely threatening us. Like, what are we supposed to? What do we know?
Just stick to the plan.
Do you know what he's talking about, Steve?
I think the plan is don't poo and pee your pants
Well,
and keep using the potty. And if you do
I mean,
that, we'll get you out of pull-ups.
that's kind of verbatim what we told our friend David back in the day. So
Back in the day. That was last week.
yeah, he's got a girlfriend now, so he's mature.
Yeah, he is. He is. Hey, you can find us not on one of those dating apps like David found his.
You can find me.
Yeah, you can find Brad
Okay.
there. You can find us on Facebook and TikTok at Game On Pod on both of those. You can visit our website, gameonpod.com, email gameon@gmail.com, and on Twitter, we are at Game On Guys. Brad, the Super Bowl has happened. 57th Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs victorious over the Philadelphia Eagles, a game that came down to the final moments of the contest, and I don't know. It was probably one of the better Super Bowls we've seen in a very long time.
I agree, and I really enjoyed pretty much every aspect of it as well. I will say we didn't really have the volume too loud, so I didn't really hear a lot of the commercials, so not a judge there. But as far as the game goes, I really enjoyed it. Super competitive, super entertaining. I even enjoyed the halftime show. I think it was a solid show. Like, the production value was really, really good. Some of those camera angles that they got during Rihanna's performance was amazing. And of course, she got everyone talking with her pregnancy announcement as well.
Yeah.
It kind of like, I think we were all kind of like talking to each other during the actual performance. Like, is she pregnant or am I just being insensitive? Like, what's going on here? Because I know she has like a 7-month-old, so it was like maybe she just needs a little more recovery time. I don't know. I don't know. I'm scared. But there was women there, so I didn't want to
You don't want to offend anybody. I get it.
No, I just wanted to ask very carefully what I was thinking, but they were already saying it, so I felt better. But yeah, it was very cool. I just I was enjoying myself the entire time, and I really appreciate that. Now, specifically the result, it's kind of what I mean. I feel like you and I have talked about this a lot, but the Chiefs just managed to find ways to pull things out of their behind a lot, and I think it's pretty fair to say that the Philadelphia Eagles are probably a better football team than the Kansas City Chiefs. But the Chiefs have the best player in the league, and they have an all-time tight end who is possibly the best receiving tight end in the history of the game. So, I mean, when you just have special players like that, they're going to make plays when you need them most, and they certainly did. There was a questionable call at the end that I didn't enjoy. I'm not going to act like that was the reason that they won.
Yeah.
But I think that was a shame that, something like that had to happen towards the end of a really, really well-played game. And I don't even think the officials up until that point were really getting in the way either. So just an unfortunate, minor situation there. But overall, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, looking back at it, I think there was a lot of question marks about would the Eagles defensively be able to make a difference? And we saw that the Chiefs' offensive line played like you would expect with the talent that they have, even with the way that Hassan Reddick has played all season, and had played down the line there late in the season and postseason, to not give up a sack to the Eagles' defensive front, which was the best defensive front, most sacks by a defense this season, says a lot about how that game went. And then just the way that the Chiefs were able to use motion to really get the defense off kilter. I mean, they'd move a guy behind the line or into the backfield and then snap the ball and then move him right back to where he was. That led to the 2 touchdowns by Tony and I'm drawing the blank on the second one. But both of those touchdowns, same play, just different sides of the field, and made the difference. You throw in the fumble by Jalen Hurts. That was, truly looking at it, that was the deciding play in that game. If he doesn't hold on to that, they go down and get any points, you're probably looking at a really different game in this Super Bowl. But not the case. The fumble happened. Nick Bolton is able to return the fumble recovery into a touchdown and really change the dynamic of that contest. And it was just a fun Super Bowl. Talking about the hold, the defensive holding or pass interference, whatever they actually called there in the fourth quarter, final minutes or 2 minutes of the game. My problem with that foul, is it a foul? Yes. Yes, it is a foul. So in that regard, okay, yes, you call it. My problem is, and everybody says, well, would they call that in the first quarter? That's where I have a feeling that they wouldn't. I just don't think that's called in the first quarter. I think that's yes. The DB Bradbury said that he did hold him. Do I think it decided the game? I mean, in some regards, yes, but like Nick Sirianni said, and some others, there was other instances throughout that game that also decided that contest. So, and I agree with that. I've always been that way. My thing is I don't think that gets called in the first quarter for all those that said, hey, if you would call it in the first, you got to call it in the fourth, in the final minute or two. Yes, I agree. I don't think that one's getting called in the first quarter.
Well, my biggest problem is that they weren't calling penalties like that all game long. Why start at that particular moment? Yeah. And you know what? I think the fans would prefer that you let them play. Like I said earlier, I enjoyed how they were officiating the game. I really feel like they just let them be physical. They let them play a little bit. They took a little long on some of the replays, but other than that, I thought they did a pretty good job up until that moment. And I think when you're an official in that big moment, they should run through the scenario a million times in their head. And if there's like a 50-50 call, I think at that point in this major of a game, you got to just take the whistle out of your mouth. I don't even think he would have caught it, if it would have been completely clean. I don't think he held him that bad. He might have tugged a jersey for a half a second, but we can go through every single play of that game and find a penalty that they didn't call. That's just football. Was it egregious enough to call? Absolutely not. And that's what bothers me. And the consistency that you're calling throughout the game is important. And they weren't calling that early, and they decided to call that one late. And that's what bothered me most. To what?
Oh, sorry. I was talking in your ear. I wasn't going over the recording. Huh. Anyways.
I didn't know you were doing that now.
Yeah, I have the ability to talk back.
Okay, let's take two.
Take two, 3, 2.
So they weren't even
1.
So my problem is that they weren't even calling that in the beginning of the game. So you can't just decide to call it in the biggest spot in the fourth quarter with the Super Bowl on the line.
Yeah.
But we're on to the NBA season now that football is all wrapped up, and we've got some exciting things to talk about.
Go ahead, Brad. You can lead this one.
All right.
You're our NBA expert. I really
That's
haven't
me.
watched a ton of NBA this season, if we're being honest.
Well, what's wrong with you, Steve?
I
Not
know.
committed a game on?
I am.
Okay, that's fair.
I haven't watched a whole. Okay, so full disclosure, I haven't really watched a
Yes.
whole lot of NBA since the bubble.
Okay, that's fair. Well, I feel like
And I kn-
basketball
I-
season doesn't really start till February, March anyway.
And
So
I,
that's
and I know
okay.
my Lakers won it that year, but here's the other thing. Get it, John. Play those pearly whites. When it comes to LeBron James, not a big fan.
Oh, okay. And he's on your Lakers.
And he's
so
on my
that's
Lakers,
probably,
so it really makes it harder to pay
Okay.
attention to the league in general.
Okay, well,
So,
I
yeah.
hope you have been watching for the past hour because it's time for the Game On NBA Midseason Awards. Now, during this session, we're going to be covering the best team, the MVP, the most improved player, defensive player of the first half, rookie of the first half, best coach of the first half, and of course, last but not least, our sixth man of the first half of the NBA season. I will go ahead and lead it off because I am the NBA guy, I guess. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, I'm going to start
Thank you for being
with-
authoritative with that. I think I'm the NBA.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. Well, you know. I just got to adjust here. I'm running the show now, damn it. Okay, let's do it. Okay,
I feel like you don't get to run it enough.
I don't. And you know what?
So here you go.
You're really holding me back, Steve.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You could be on with Skip. If
Oh
it wasn't for
God,
me.
there would be a lot
You
of.
thought Shannon Sharp was ready to kick his butt.
I would walk off the set in 5 minutes. I can't do that. I can't do it. Anyways, okay, let's get into it. NBA midseason awards. For the best team, I have the Boston Celtics out of the Eastern Conference. Now they are, thank you, they are a league best, 42-17 this season. It's really impressive what they've been able to do considering the preseason, off-season drama that they had with their coach, Umi Udoka. As we all remember, there was a little bit of a scandal with him and a former employee of the organization. That got kind of messy, and so they went in a different direction with their head coach. And a lot of question marks entering the year for them, but they have really managed to come together as a team. And, Coach Joe Mazzulla has really done a fantastic job with the Celtics because they could have easily let this whole drama kind of affected their team chemistry, but they're not. They picked up right where they left off last year. And that addition of Malcolm Brogdon coming off the bench, as we discussed in our preseason special, has been huge for them. So I've got the Boston Celtics as the best team of the first half. And to tie along with that, I have coach of the first half going to Joe Mazzulla. Kind of already said it all. What he's been able to step into with no head coaching experience and just kind of take the reins and calm everybody down, get the ship right. Enough can't be said for what he's done this year so far. So give me the Celtic back-to-back there.
I would agree with you. That's who I had as the best team. The Celtics with a league best winning percentage of 71.2%. Like you mentioned, 42-17 on the season, 24-7 at home this year. Especially with everything that is surrounding that team as well. I give them the best team title, and I give Joe Mazzulla the coach of the year at this midseason point.
All right, let's go ahead and move into our
Copycat.
most valuable player. I'm ignoring you. Our most valuable player for the first half of the year. It's a tale as old as time, folks. Your MVP of the first half, according to Brad. Mr. Nikola Jokic. Mr. Jokic is averaging a triple-double in the first half. 25 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. And the most impressive part of that, he's doing that in only 33.6 minutes per game. Now, I think it can't be overstated how much he means to the Denver Nuggets. There is a interesting stat here that I wanted to bring up. It's called an expected wins on the year. With Jokic, they are at 67 expected wins on the season. Without him, they're at 18. That is first in the league by a long shot. And they are at the top of the West right now, and they're going to be an interesting team going into the playoffs to see if they are for real or not. But the difference with this year's squad is that Jokic finally has some of those pieces around him healthy that he hasn't had in past years. Mm-hmm. With Murray and the additions in the offseason. So
Christian Brown.
I mean, they've got a
name wrong.
They've got a few guys that they haven't had in past, playoff runs. So I think they could make a run at the, at least the Western Conference Championship. Let's call it that. But my first half MVP is the Joker, Nikola Jokic.
I went with the Joker as well for all the same reasons. I think it'll be interesting to me. Does he actually win the award at the end of the season? If he continues on the way that he is, averaging a triple-double with nearly 25 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, does he claim his third NBA MVP crown? Or do the voters go with someone else just to avoid giving him his third one? If they do, it's ridiculous.
It is. And you go back into this debate of, I remember LeBron in his prime when you could say, oh, well, LeBron, realistically, he could win it every season. I mean, is he the most valuable player every year? Yeah, he is. But it's hard to win consecutive MVP awards, let alone a three-peat. And a knock against Jokic has been, well, he's not getting it done in the playoffs. That's a little unfair, seeing how his team has really had a lot of injuries to deal with during those runs. Mm-hmm. I think it's also kind of a knock on him that he's not really a big defensive presence in the paint on the for the Nuggets. But, he's one of the best defensive rebounders in the game. He throws his weight around. He knows how to cut off angles. I don't see that as an issue myself. But it is what it is. I think it's just really hard to deny what he means to that team and how damn impressive he's been over the last few seasons.
Yep. I agree with you.
All right. Let's kick it over to our most improved player of the first half of the year.
All right.
I'm going with Utah Jazz's own Lauri Markkanen.
Okay.
Markkanen's an interesting story here. He was part of the Donovan Mitchell trade that sent Mitchell over to Cleveland. I think a lot of people wrote off the Jazz this year. Didn't expect much from them. But with the help of Markkanen, they are vying for the playoffs right now. I believe they are in the... I want to say they're in the 10 seed or something like that. They're close to the play-in game, and before the season, you would have expected them to be vying for the worst record in the league. So that's pretty impressive. Markkanen on the year has 24 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists a game, and the biggest thing that jumped out to me about Markkanen was his points per game this year are up 10 from last year. That, paired with the Jazz unlikely success, I'm giving my most improved player to Lauri Markkanen.
I'm going to go with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder. You might be thinking, oh, you're just a Thunder fan. I'm not a Thunder fan.
He's really not.
I'm probably the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I am overly critical of them. But what SGA has done so far this season, with Chet Holmgren not getting to play this year, suffering the injury before the season. What not only SGA has done individually, but what he has done in willing this team into a potential playoff spot, which is probably the worst thing that could have happened. But in reality, it has also made him probably a franchise-type player. He went from being an all-star caliber to now he is a guy that maybe you can truly build this franchise on, along with guys like Chet Holmgren and Josh Giddey and others. 30.9 points so far this season per game. Nearly 5 rebounds, nearly 2 steals, and almost 6 assists for SGA, along with averaging a block a game. All around, he is getting it done. A guy that I think when that trade was made a few years ago, people thought, oh, okay, that's a really good piece. It's turned into be a great piece for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and what he has done in continuing to improve and has truly stepped his game up. I've got to go with SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, as the most improved player.
I don't hate the pick. I think a lot of people have known that SGA is a bona fide star the past couple of years at least, but I totally get where you're coming from as far as most improved player for this. So I don't hate it. Let's go ahead and move to defensive player of the first half. I'm heading to Memphis. I'm going with Jaren Jackson Jr. He has only played in 39 games this year, but he is averaging 3.3 blocks per game. That's a total of 127 blocks in 39 games. Pretty impressive. His 3.3 average leads the league. The next block leader in the league is at 2.8, so he is about a half of a block up on his next competition. His versatility is really impressive as well. He's able to kind of switch off those ball screens, defend guards when he needs to. He also averages a steal per game, so he's able to hop in those passing lanes when he needs to as well. Just kind of an all-around defensive stud. He missed the first part of the year, but he has come back with a vengeance. Let's see if he can continue it, but he is my defensive player of the first half.
Yeah, I agree with you. His defensive field goal percentage when it comes to field goals defended at the rim sits at 45.1%. Pretty dang solid there in keeping opponents having difficulty there close to the rim. So I agree with you. What Jaren Jackson Jr. has done so far this season in a limited showing, as he was coming off that injury early in the season, he has been impressive for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I agree. And I think he's a really good complement inside with Steven Adams. You know what you're getting out of Steven Adams. He's just kind of going to be a brick shit house in a sense. But Jaren Jackson gives them a little more flexibility on the defensive end. So I really like what they got cooking up in Memphis.
And Defensive Player of the Year is always a difficult one, I feel like.
It is. It's hard to me to kind of differentiate because I feel like, in the past however many years, 15, let's say, I feel like it's really become a guard-dominated league just because of even the big guys are kind of like switched out into the guard roles. They're able to ball handle. They're able to pass. Yeah, you look at Luka, KD, all those guys. I mean, they can run the offense themselves. So it's hard to. I feel like it's not the era of the big man in the NBA anymore. So when you get a guy like Jaren Jackson, who's tossing up almost 3.5 blocks per game, I think that's pretty massive. And in today's NBA, he's got to be that versatile defender that he is as well. You can't underestimate what that does when he's able to switch off those screens. A lot of big men kind of get trapped in that game, and he's definitely not one of them. He can handle his own against those quicker guards. And that, steal a game he's averaging is even big. He clogs up the lane and makes it difficult for opposing offenses. Let's go ahead and move over to our rookie of the first half. I think this is probably going to be unanimous. Might not be much argument here.
Go ahead and say
I'm going with Orlando Magic rookie Paolo Banchero. He is averaging 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists a game. I think one of the more impressive stats that I saw, along with a lot of other people have pointed out as well, he's getting to the line 7.5 times a game. That is pretty damn impressive for a rookie to have that poise, to have that intelligence to really attack the rim, know that you got to get to the line really to get started in these NBA games nowadays. 75% from the free throw line as well, so he's knocking down his free throws. This was kind of like a Utah Jazz situation that I was mentioning earlier. A lot of people wrote off the Orlando Magic before the season started. They're in a rebuilding phase, of course, but they're 4 games out of the play-in themselves. So really impressive what all the expectations that were on Banchero for him to follow through like he has been so far. He's my rookie of the year.
Ditto.
First half, sorry.
Ditto.
Okay. Enough said. Did you give us your coach or
Yeah, I went with Joe.
Joe as well?
Wizard.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up with our 6th man of the first half. Again, I mentioned this when we first discussed the NBA season. The Boston Celtics are a scary, scary looking team this year. We already know what they could do with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, but the off-season addition, the most important off-season addition of this past offseason has been Malcolm Brogdon, and he is my 6th man of the first half. He is the Celtics' 3rd leading scorer coming off the bench, averaging 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He is going to come up huge for them in the playoffs. I really think this is their year to really establish their dominance out in the Eastern Conference.
I like that one. I would have gone with that one, except I knew you were going to go with that one, and I knew we were probably going to be very similar on a lot of these. So I'm changing it up, Brad.
Okay.
Russell Westbrook.
All right.
Los Angeles Lakers, now with the Utah Jazz.
That sounds weird, doesn't it?
It does sound really weird. Russ, 14.6 points per game, 6.3 rebounds per game, 7 assists per game, nearly 8. Has just been impressive since Darvin Ham moved him to the bench instead of a starting role. He has grown and flourished in that role, and still one of the more dynamic athletes playing in the league, even at his age. He has shown that he's still capable. He can't shoot the 3. He really hasn't ever been able to shoot the 3. He's still able to make things happen, though. He's dynamic. He's gritty, and he showed that off the bench for the Lakers this season as well, prior to being traded to Utah.
Surely he's not in Utah too long, correct?
No, I wouldn't imagine so. Got to think there's going to be a buyout there, and then that'll be a fun one to see. Where does he end up?
Yeah, a nice addition to a contending team later in the year. That could be, like you said, it could be very interesting.
Could he think he ends up Phoenix?
Oh, man, no.
Backing up
No.
Chris Paul? No?
He doesn't like
Come
KD,
off the
does he?
bench? I don't know.
Have they sewed up their hatred for each other?
I have no idea. Maybe the Clippers?
I mean,
I wouldn't put it past the
who
Clippers.
knows? Maybe the Mavericks. Who knows? They're throwing everything they can against the wall and seeing what sticks. Why
They are.
not?
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
We got to get it out of the way.
Okay.
Actually, you want to run down?
Let's do a recap
Do the recap. You recap, and then we'll
before
get
I get too flustered with the Mavericks talk.
Yes, let's get. Okay.
All right. All right. Our game on NBA midseason awards. My picks this first half are best team of the first half. I have the Boston Celtics, league best 42-17 record, overcoming their off-season coaching situation, and like I said, adding Malcolm Brogdon to their rotation, huge. I'll take the Boston Celtics as my best team of the first half. MVP, I have Jokic averaging a triple-double in just 33 minutes a game. Expected win rate way higher with him on the floor. Number 1 in the league. It's hard to deny the man has an impact when he's on the floor. Most improved player, I have Lauri Markkanen on the Utah Jazz. Points per game has increased 10 points this year. Utah is vying for the playoffs. I mean, a surprise out there. So, Lauri Markkanen, most improved player. My defender of the first half, I'm going with Jaren Jackson Jr. He is leading the league with 3.3 blocks per game. Versatile defender, can switch off those screens, handle a lot of those guards that he gets matched up with. Also adds a steal per game. Rookie of the first half, I have Paolo Banchero. 20 points a game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. He's getting to the line over 7 times a game, shooting at a 75% clip. And the Magic, 4 games out of the play-in for the playoffs. So, well done by Banchero in the first half of the year. My coach of the year, there's a Celtics theme with my picks here. I have Joe Mazzulla. As I mentioned before, when I was going over the Boston Celtics, what they overcame to start the year with their coaching debacle has been really impressive. That is a professional group of basketball players in that locker room, and Joe has done a great job keeping them on track. And finally, my sixth man of the first half is Boston Celtics, Malcolm Brogdon. He is third on the Boston Celtics in scoring at 14 points a game. He's also adding in 4 rebounds, 4 assists as well.
You really love Boston.
I'm on Boston this year. And you know, it was tempting to I was looking at Jason Tatum as my MVP as well. So it was I guess I'm all in this season for the Celtics.
Apparently, a big Boston fan.
Your cousin from Boston.
That's you. Might as well
Yeah, you know me. They
have
call
an
me
accent.
Boston Brad. That's what they always
Might as
called
well-
me.
They have. It's actually what you pick up ladies with.
That's right.
You use an accent and everything. All right.
How you like them apples?
Apples. Okay. Oh, LeBron's losing his mind again. Drop to your knees. Do it. Do it, you big crybaby.
Can't watch that.
Drop to your knees.
Give us your recap, Steve.
All right. My game on midseason NBA awards. Best team, Boston Celtics. I mean, just look at the record. They're sitting atop the NBA with the best win percentage at 71.2%. I'm going to go MVP Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets, averaging a triple-double so far this season. Who cares if he's already won it twice? Give it to him a third time, at least at this midway point. Most improved player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder. SGA has went from being an all-star to a franchise-caliber player. And I did not record any of this. So let's start back over. Best team. The Boston Celtics are my best team option. 71.2 win percentage so far this season, sitting atop the NBA. Give it to them. They are the best team so far at midseason as we head into this all-star break. MVP, I'm going to go with the Joker, the Nuggets center. He has been impressive, averaging a triple-double so far this season. Give it to him a third time, NBA MVP voters. Most improved, SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder. He has gone from a all-star to a franchise caliber player, so I'm going to go with SGA. Best defender, I'm going with Jaren Jackson for a lot of the reasons that Brad added. His defended at the rim field goal percentage, opponents shooting just 45% when he's defending at the rim, and like Brad mentioned, a league best 3.3 blocks per game. Best rookie, I'm going with Paolo Banchero of the Magic. I mean, who else are you really going to give it to? Not a lot of great options in the rookie class. Coach Joe Mazzulla of the Celtics for all the reasons that I've already stated. And the sixth man, I am going to go with Russell Westbrook III of the Los Angeles Lakers, now the Utah Jazz. He has been impressive since Darvin Ham moved him out of the starting lineup. Looked a lot like the old Russ. Still can't shoot a three. So those are my midseason NBA awards.
Well done.
I had to redo them because I don't know if I lost your audio. I don't know if you muted yourself.
I did, yeah.
Okay. So I had to restart. So I'm going to have to go back and edit that. And I'll edit this part.
Yeah, they'll never know. They're stupid.
Never know.
Our audience is dumb. Idiots. This is going great. So the Mavericks drive me crazy, right?
Yes, the Mavericks. They made a trade.
Yeah, they sure did.
Was he worried he was going to fall off the planet?
The flat Earth, yes.
Flat Earth when he got to Dallas.
Yes, of course.
Can he play in San Antonio?
That's really one of those situations where it's like, yes, I am desperate for the Mavericks to get that help that Luka so desperately needs. And yes, Kyrie has immense talent, and he can definitely help them. But could you pick literally anybody else that could help them? I mean, the last player that I wanted them to obtain, and they did it. But here we are. He's there.
It's been about a week.
Yeah.
Since the trade.
Yes.
How you feeling? You've seen him play now.
Yeah, I mean, I know what he is.
You've seen him in a Mavericks uniform now.
The problem is him and Luka haven't been on the court very much together yet, so it's kind of really hard to gauge it as of this point. The Mavericks did pull off some impressive victories while Luka was out and Kyrie was in. That was interesting to me. I think they've only been able to play 1 or 2 games together, so there's going to be a lot of meshing in the second half of the year. Tonight they are playing the Denver Nuggets. Kyrie is out with a back designation, so I think he's just trying to get to the All-Star break in one piece. They're going to be losing to the Denver Nuggets, so there's your live update on my misery continuing with the Mavericks. But I will say this. They had to make a move. So, I mean, it's swinging for the fences, which I can appreciate it. Do I think it's going to work? No, I do not. And when I saw, that Irving was the choice to bring in, one of the first questions I asked myself was, why didn't we just try and re-sign Brunson? I mean, they had a really good thing going last year with Jalen Brunson and Luka kind of leading the way. I love their offseason acquisition of Christian Wood as well. I think Wood is who they were missing in their playoff run last year when they made it to the Western Conference Finals. They still need a rebounder, a guy who can clean the glass a little bit. It's so crazy that they are even this week they worked out LaMarcus Aldridge, 37-year-old LaMarcus Aldridge. So
come again.
As we know, Aldridge has been out of the league, but he is looking to make his return. And
Greg Oden busy?
Don't put it out of their don't put it out of their capabilities, because Mark Cuban will do anything apparently. I'm done.
I just pictured in my head a Shark Tank of Mark Cuban sitting there, and Greg Oden walks in and is like, "Sharks, I would like to interest you in."
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
A 40-year-old center, 7 feet tall, with 6 bad knees.
Mark
and
Cuban
looks like he's 84 years old.
Mark Cuban tends to not pay out the necessary amount of money to teams that had success in the previous year. You look at the 2011 championship team, he made the decision not to return a lot of those players who helped get him that trophy. You could say, yeah, it's salary cap issue, blah, 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 whatever it may be. He apparently thought their window was done after 2011, which I don't think was true, but that's the move he made. And then last year, they overachieved, made it to the Western Conference Finals, which was a huge move up, especially in Luka's career. And then decides to let Jalen Brunson walk to the New York Knicks. It's just, it's a bit of a roller coaster with Cuban at the head. So I guess I will just keep holding on for dear life.
Hey, I mean, my team has LeBron on it, so.
At least it's entertaining, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not boring.
That's true. Very, very true. All right, time for the top 3. The NBA All-Star Game and weekend is coming up this weekend. Brad, I don't know if you knew that.
I did know that.
You did, okay.
And you know what else is
What else
this
do you
weekend?
know?
The NBA dunk contest.
It is indeed. That is what we call a transition in this business, boys and girls. It's time for our top 3 dunk contest dunks.
Bum, 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 dun, dun. Do you not have the test queued up?
Oh, you want it again? Okay.
Gets me going.
Brad gets a lady friend over and he's like, let me turn something on.
Yes.
You used to have hair like John Tesh a little bit.
Yeah, you know, my John Tesh playlist has never failed me. So.
Oh, man. All right. Top 3 dunk contest dunks. Brad, I'll let you lead it off, my friend.
Okay. Now, I think this might be a controversial segment we have this week because I think people are going to be passionate over the top 3 dunks of all time. I just want to specify that I'm counting as top 3 in-game dunks of all time.
Oh, you're not going dunk contest?
No.
I thought that's what we...
I clarified that with you before the show.
I misread the text then.
Okay.
This is awkward.
Okay, how about this? You speak for our dunk contest top 3.
Okay.
I'll speak for our in-game top 3. Jesus. Are you drunk tonight? What's going on with you? Did you leave now?
I'm going back and reading.
Okay. Anyways. Game on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I did say almost just the top 3. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
A little too much in the bottle there.
All right. You go ahead and explain what you're about to read here.
Okay. I have Game On's top 3 dunks. NBA in-game all-time dunks. Once again, I'm going to say that in a better way. Game On's top 3 in-game dunks of all time. All right, coming in at number 3, we have now Blake Griffin over Kendrick Perkins. This was impressive to me for a couple different reasons. I was going back and forth with the Mozgov dunk versus the Perkins dunk. Blake Griffin, prime Blake Griffin, when he was healthy, was one of the best dunkers I've ever seen in my entire life. The thing that impressed me most about this particular dunk was the physicality involved with it. He had a Kendrick Perkins who weighs in at probably close to 600 pounds coming at him in the lane, jumping up, and Blake Griffin absorbs Kendrick Perkins and still manages to throw one down on his head and one of Blake Griffin's best moments in the NBA. Coming in at number 2, I have Vince Carter over Alonzo Mourning. Back in the New Jersey Net days, Vince Carter. Vince Carter's my favorite dunker of all time. Just want to get that out of the way now. I think he is the most impressive. I think he has the best resume. And you know what? I think his dunking ability really overshadowed how good of a player he actually was, too. But that's for another segment. Anyways, Vince Carter over Alonzo Mourning. One of the best shot blockers in the league, Alonzo Mourning. What impressed me about this particular dunk was this was kind of a broken play. They were scrambling for the ball. It was tipped out to the three-point line. Vince Carter tracks it down with a defender rushing at him, goes behind the back, dribble around the arc, and then takes it into the paint, goes up against Alonzo Mourning, and cocks back midair to avoid the block, and then proceeds to throw it down over Alonzo Mourning, one of the best shot blockers of that era. So, number 2, Vince Carter over Alonzo Mourning. And number 1, best dunk in a game in NBA history, we have the GOAT, Michael Jordan, dunking over Patrick Ewing. Now, Bulls, Knicks, playoffs, the scene has already set itself, right? But MJ, being the best of all time, he has some other things in mind for the New York Knicks. This was a special play because he actually had Charles Oakley guarding him right around the baseline area, and he manages to spin away from Charles Oakley going baseline, and then of course he meets Patrick Ewing at the rim, one of the best players of that era, one of the best shot blockers of that era, and MJ proceeds to dunk all over Patrick Ewing with no remorse. The whole play was just so beautiful and such an MJ essence that we have it at our top spot. The spin move, the elevation, and the finish, just a thing of beauty. Prime Michael Jordan tops our list.
I like it. I like the list, Brad.
I do have an honorable mention. I'll just get it out of the way.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you remember this, but this is part of the Lob City era. I have DeAndre Jordan over Brandon Knight. This was an alley-oop situation. Back in the day, Chris Paul had DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin that he would just toss endless alley-oops to. This was a murder on live television. CP3 found Jordan cutting through the middle of the lane. Poor, helpless Brandon Knight went up for some reason because he thought he was going to do something to stop DeAndre Jordan, and that just simply did not happen. One of the best multiple replay dunks of all time. It looks so good from every angle, and that poster, a thing of art. So we got to give a shout out to DeAndre Jordan for essentially ending Brandon Knight as a human being.
Gotcha. I gotcha. All right. I did my research,
Okay.
so I can go with you here.
Okay.
You want me to go with you?
Go with me.
That's what that noise was. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Apologies. Apologies. All right. Number 3 on my list of the top 3 dunks in game. John Starks' dunk in the 1993 Eastern Conference Finals against the Bulls. Some will say he dunked over Michael Jordan. Jordan came over late to help defensively. Either way, it was a throwdown, and it got the Knicks and New York City going crazy. Plus, John Starks is from Booker T, Washington. Or from Tulsa, I mean. He didn't play at Booker T.
Yes, sir.
He's from Tulsa.
918.
918. Represent. So, Starks' dunk in the 1993 Eastern Conference Finals. My number 2, Shaquille O'Neal just throwing it down on Chris Dudley.
So disrespectful.
So disrespectful. I mean, he hung on the rim a little extra. He gave it that full body shake, all on Chris Dudley. Shaq on Dudley was just so wrong. And then my number 1 is right there with you. Jordan on Ewing, going baseline. I mean, it's just one of those that stands out in your mind of just the all-time dunks.
It really does. And as I ranted on about it, I think he beat 3 defenders on that single play. He got around his guy where Charles Oakley had to step over.
He gets to
and
the baseline.
yeah.
Oakley comes over. He does a little fake spin move there. And then old Patrick slides over and gets disrespected just like he's doing as the head coach of Georgetown.
And interesting enough, one of the other most disrespectful dunks I've ever seen, Scottie Pippen over Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
If you recall that, he threw it down over Patrick, and he proceeded to push him as he was falling down, just to add insult to injury. So the Bulls really had Ewing's number, apparently. So
Do you want my top 3 dunk contest ones?
go ahead.
While we're at it.
Yes. So do your top 3 dunk contests, and then just do a recap of your previous 3.
Okay, I can do that. I can definitely do that. My top 3 dunk contest dunks. Number 3, Aaron Gordon over the mascot, under his legs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just one of those that when it happened, everybody went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody did. Top 3. It's my number 3. My number 2, Vince Carter elbow dunk. We all tried to do it on our 7.5 foot or 8 foot goal after that with the smaller basketball. Vince going and throwing it down and then putting his elbow, hanging from his elbow, as he put his forearm in the goal. I mean, it's number 2 in my book. And then the number 1, Zach LaVine, free throw line between the legs. He took all of the great dunks and merged them into one, and it's number 1 in my book when it comes to dunk contest dunks.
I like that. There's a theme with your list that I see for myself here, in my opinion. I feel like all of those guys, their dunk contest was at a point in time in the NBA where it felt like all the dunks that could have been done were done.
Yes.
But they were the ones to do something new, to do something innovative, to get excitement back into this contest. Vince Carter, the most famous dunk contest of all time, in my opinion. All of his incredible dunks he had that year. And then once the guys like Vince Carter were done and everything, we were like, okay, well, we've seen everything.
Yeah.
There's not going to be anything new to see. But credit to Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, because they really kept the bar going up in the NBA for that dunk contest.
All right. And then the recap of my in-game NBA all-time dunks. Top 3. John Starks dunk in the 1993 Eastern Conference Finals. No, he didn't dunk over MJ specifically, but MJ was within the area. He was within the poster. Number 2, Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq Daddy, throwing it down on Chris Dudley. Number 2 with ease there, just completely disrespecting my man from the Knicks. And then my number 1 is a little return action against the Knicks. Michael Jordan throwing it down on Patrick Ewing, like he gets done to him as the head coach of Georgetown every single night. Those are my top 3.
All right. And my top 3 in-game NBA dunks of all time. Number 3, I have Blake Griffin over Kendrick Perkins. Just the sheer physicality of that dunk was what impressed me the most. Blake Griffin attacking the paint, big Kendrick Perkins coming over, challenging him, throws his body into him, fouls him, but Blake Griffin maintains his control midair and throws it down on Kendrick Perkins' head. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Number 2, I have Vince Carter over Alonzo Mourning. Carter started this play with a fantastic chase down of a loose ball, goes behind his back, attacks the paint. Who's there waiting for him? One of the best shot blockers in the league, Alonzo Mourning. Midair, Vince Carter cocks it back to avoid the block and still throws it down over Alonzo Mourning. Beautiful, beautiful stuff again. And number 1, Michael Jordan, NBA playoffs against the New York Knicks. Really, MJ beat 3 defenders on this play. He beat his original man. Charles Oakley comes out, tries to help. MJ hits him with a little spin move baseline, goes up, meets Patrick Ewing at the rim, and dunks it down over one of the greatest big men who have ever played in the game. And that is why he's the greatest of all time.
Very fair. I agree. I agree, Brad. No doubt about it, my man. All right. Well, I think that's all we had.
Yeah,
That's about all
I'm done.
That's all we. You're checking out, huh?
That's
You are done.
my contract states. I've only got so much in me.
You are done. But hey, always remember.
You have a call from Woody and Bo Peep. Is a big kid there to speak to them?
Well, hi there, little one. It's me, Bo Peep.
And hey, howdy, hey, Sheriff Woody's here too.
Now,
Okay, first of all, that is the worst Woody impersonation ever. That's the first thing that stood out to me when I heard this the first time. Continue.
going on quite a big adventure. Well, that's just great. You're gonna have so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
Going to rehab.
As long as you stick to the plan, you'll be a surefire success.
Oh, and if you ever want to talk again, just let us know. We always love spending time with you.
Bo Peep's right. Check in anytime. Well, so long for now, partner.
Thanks.
I don't like this ominous plan that they keep talking about. I'm going to have to give this number a call and figure out what's going on here, because there's some tomfoolery afoot here, I feel like.
Just stick to the plan, Brad.
Yeah, just stick to the plan, man.
Stick to the plan.
Who are they going to get next? John Wick? Whoa, dude, stick to the plan. Or I'm going to shoot 37 guys in one room.
Oh. I have a special set of skills.
Liam Neeson, yes.
Liam.
I believe he voiced something in Toy Story, actually.
Did he? No.
Yeah, I think so. Fact check me.
I'm
Live.
checking right now.
Stick to the plan.
Toy Story 3. He comes up in a search on Google when I said Toy Story and Liam Neeson. So hold on. Oh no, for Ned Beatty was cast as lots of actors like Jeff Bridges, Mark Hamill, Liam Neeson, blah 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 blah, were all considered to voice the character.
Damn. All right, fair enough.
So it doesn't look like. Hold on, let's see. Just double check here. Toy Story. I'm not seeing anything on Disney.fandom.com. Wiki. Liam Neeson does not come up.
Well, there's a new Toy Story coming out, so who knows?
Yeah, Toy Story 5,
Yeah.
according to Tim Allen. Interesting. Also, real quick, let's just talk college basketball for just
Okay.
Oklahoma. What the hell?
I don't know.
We'll beat the number 2 team in the nation. We'll be the top 15 team. Porter's not going to Notre Dame. He came out and said that.
Well, the crazy thing is they're going to have some of the best wins on their resume.
Yeah, their quad 1 is insane.
But you can't. I don't feel like you can put them in at this point.
If they win 3 more games and win a game in the Big 12 tournament.
I agree, but that's a long.
That's a lot. I
hard
know.
road
That's
for
asking
them.
a whole lot. If they somehow win 2 games in the conference, what's going to be funny, and somebody mentioned this on the radio that I was listening to today. They were like, "This is setting up for OU to just go win the conference tournament, isn't it?"
I thought about that myself. Yeah.
Like they're going to fool around and then go win the conference tournament.
I mean, honestly, you got to get hot at the right time. So who knows?
You do. You do indeed, my friend. All right, that's it for us tonight, or today, or whenever you're listening to this. Mid-afternoon, early morning, however you like your Brad and Steve.
I'm not going to make a dirty comment.
I was just letting it hang, see if you...
I thought you were going to get in my ear there and say, don't.
If you bit on it. Nope. All right, be sure to follow us on Facebook and TikTok. Game On Pod is how you can find us there. Twitter, Game On Guys. Visit our website, gameonpod.com. That's how you can catch all of this, the whole show. You can also find all of our social media, where to find the show, all of that, your favorite podcast provider. You can always email us at emailgameon@gmail.com as well. For Brad Bollinger, I'm Steve Braun. This has been yet another edition of Game On.
2, 1, 2, 3.
Are you ready, America? It's time for another edition of Game On. With your host, Stevie Ray Braun, and Brad Bad News Bollinger. Sit back, relax, and enjoy Game On.